Welcome back, boys and girls, to another lesson with Miss Brown. Today your story is going to be called Bats in the Attic, and this is a story from Raz Kids. So for these lessons, we're going to do a series of 3 very short mini lessons. Most of the skills you would have visited already with Mr. Campbell or maybe even with some other teachers, so this should just be review. If it's not, hopefully the lessons give you enough information for you to understand what's going on. So you're going to need the 3 worksheets for these lessons, for this one lesson. You're going to need the KWL on Bats in the Attic. It looks like this. You're going to need the steps for digging and cooking clams. It looks like this. And you're going to need the activity on articles, which looks like this. If you don't know what articles are, we're going to be talking about that today. So before you even start to read Bats in the Attic, I want you to grab the KWL. And I know I've done a KWL before in some of my lessons, but if you're not familiar, a KWL is a way to organize your thoughts before, during, and after a reading. So the K stands for what you know. So in the section where it says what you know, I want you to write what you already know about bats. Okay? Before you start reading, I want you to write in the second section what you want to know about bats. Then after you've listened to the story, in this last section, I want you to put what you've learned about bats. So you're going to have to complete this before you even start the reading. Next, we've talked about sequencing before. So sequencing means when you put events in order. So what came first, next, then last. It's important to know how to sequence events because it helps you to keep track of what's going on in the story. It helps to increase your understanding, helps you not to get mixed up. So for this sheet here, there are some steps to digging and cooking clams. I have never heard, seen, read about anybody cooking clams before, but for this activity, you have to list the steps involved in digging for and cooking clams, 1 to 15. You may refer to Bats in the Attic as necessary. So they give you a freebie, number 1. Find out when there is a full moon and when the tide will be out. So you're going to have to go back and look in the story, Bats in the Attic. Think about and read about how they have to dig for and cook clams. I want you to put the steps in order. Okay, so then what came first and what do you do after that, etc. The one that might be a little bit tricky is using articles. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick mini lesson on using articles. Okay, so articles. What are articles, Miss Brown? Well, an article is a word that gives you information about a noun. So remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing. So in many cases, before you introduce a noun, you might have to use an article. So here are the 3 articles. You ready? The articles are a, an, and the. Okay? So you might say a dog, an apple, a car. So these are the articles, but there are certain times when you actually have to use the articles. And I'm going to tell you when you use these articles. Okay, so A, you use the article A when you don't know about the noun. So when you don't know about the person, place, or thing, when it could just be anything, just pull it from the sky. We don't really know exactly what we're talking about. It's indefinite. It's not really definite. We're not talking about a particular thing. You use A. So for example, let's say that Keith, hi Keith. Let's say that Keith went to a park last week. We don't know which park she went to, just a park. So we would say Keith went to a park, let's say yesterday, just for space's sake. Yesterday. Full stop. Do we know what park she went to? No. Does it have a name? No. So we have to put A. Okay, it's indefinite. It's not a specific place that she went to. Okay, that's when you use A. All right, next we're going to talk about when you use an. Okay, so for using an, when you don't know about the noun and it begins with a vowel or a vowel sound, so like the word hour, even though hour begins with an H, it makes an ow sound, kind of like a vowel. So if a word has a vowel as the first letter or begins with a vowel sound, kind of like H, you're going to use an. And if it's not definite, If we talk about anything, not anything specific, we're going to use an. So, I feel like an orange. Not one that's sitting right on the table. That will be the orange, which we're going to get to next. I feel like an orange. I'm hungry. I feel like an orange. So we're not really talking about any orange in particular. It's indefinite. The last article is the. So you're going to use the when you're talking about something specific. Okay, a specific item. Okay, so if it's a specific park, a specific piece of fruit, if it's a piece of fruit that's sitting right there, I want the piece of fruit. I want to go to the park next to City Hall. We're talking about something definite or something specific or particular. So that's when we use the. So I'll show you an example in a second. Okay, so in this last example for the, if you use the, it means you are talking about a particular noun. So you're being very specific. It's definite. A definite person, place, or thing. So this is my example. I met the premier of Bermuda. Not just any premier. I didn't meet just a premier, because if it was a premier, it could have been a premier of Bermuda or another Caribbean island. But we're being specific. The premier of Bermuda. So it's talking about a certain person. So it's really important when you're using articles to use the correct article, either a, an, or the, so that you can let your readers know who you're talking about and what you mean. So for the last example, put it up so you're not looking at my neck. Bats and clams. For this activity, it says fill in each blank with the correct article, a, an, or the. So these are all sentences from the story, Bats in the Attic. So you have to read the sentence carefully and decide if they are talking about a, an, or the. So is it indefinite? Is it not talking about anything in particular? Or is it definite? Is it very specific? Okay? All right, so that is it. Good luck. I hope that this made sense. I look forward to seeing how you did. I will see you in the next video. Bye.